Ronald Reagan, the 40th President of the United States, is often remembered for his charisma, charm, and the undeniable Hollywood touch he brought to politics. But how did an actor transition from the silver screen to the highest office in the land? Today, we'll delve into the fascinating journey of Ronald Reagan from his days as a Hollywood star to his impactful presidency. Along the way, we'll explore key events and share some humorous anecdotes that highlight his unique path to the White House. Ronald Wilson Reagan was born on February 6, 1911, in Tampico, Illinois. After graduating from Eureka College, he worked as a radio sports announcer before making his way to Hollywood in the late 1930s. Reagan quickly became a popular actor, starring in over 50 films. Some of his notable roles included the college football star in Knute Rockne, All-American, and a double amputee in King's Row, where he delivered the memorable line, "Where's the rest of me?" Known as the Gipper for his role in Knute Rockne, All-American, Reagan's acting career was on the rise. But it wasn't just his acting that caught people's attention. It was his natural ability to connect with audiences, a skill that would serve him well in his future political career. Reagan's interest in politics began to take shape during his tenure as the president of the Screen Actors Guild from 1947 to 1952. And again from 1959 to 1960. During this time, he dealt with issues like the Hollywood blacklist and labor disputes, gaining valuable experience in leadership and negotiation. In the 1950s, Reagan's political views shifted from liberal to conservative. He became a spokesperson for General Electric, touring the country and giving speeches about the virtues of free enterprise and limited government. His eloquence and charm won him many admirers, including influential conservative figures who encouraged him to run for public office. In 1966, Ronald Reagan ran for governor of California as a Republican. His campaign was built on a platform of fiscal conservatism, law and order, and reducing the size of government. Despite being relatively new to politics, his Hollywood fame and persuasive communication skills helped him win the election by a landslide. As governor, Reagan implemented several conservative policies, including tax cuts, welfare reform, and efforts to reduce government spending. His tenure wasn't without controversy, but he left a significant mark on California politics. Reagan's first attempt at the presidency in 1976 was unsuccessful, losing the Republican nomination to incumbent President Gerald Ford. However, this loss only fueled his determination. In 1980, he ran again and this time secured the Republican nomination, choosing George H.W. Bush as his running mate. Reagan's campaign against incumbent President Jimmy Carter focused on the country's economic woes, including high inflation and unemployment. His famous question during a debate, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" resonated with voters, leading to a decisive victory. Ronald Reagan was inaugurated as the 40th President of the United States on January 20, 1981. His presidency would be marked by significant events and policies that would shape the nation and the world. One of the most harrowing moments of Reagan's presidency occurred on March 30, 1981, just 69 days into his first term. While leaving a speaking engagement at the Washington Hilton Hotel, Reagan was shot by John Hinckley Jr. The bullet narrowly missed his heart, but Reagan's quick recovery and humor in the face of danger endeared him even more to the American public. Reagan's resilience and good spirits during this critical time showcased his strength and ability to lead under pressure. Reagan's economic policies, often referred to as Reaganomics, aimed to reduce government spending, lower taxes, and deregulate the economy. His belief in supply-side economics, or the trickle-down theory, was controversial but had a lasting impact on the American economy. During his presidency, the economy experienced significant growth, inflation decreased, and millions of jobs were created. However, critics argue that these policies also led to increased deficits and income inequality. Reagan's foreign policy was dominated by the Cold War. He took a hard stance against the Soviet Union, famously calling it the evil empire. His administration increased defense spending and developed the Strategic Defense Initiative, dubbed Star Wars, aimed at protecting the United States from missile attacks. Despite the tough rhetoric, Reagan also pursued diplomacy, meeting with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev in a series of summits that ultimately led to significant arms reduction agreements. The Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, signed in 1987, marked a turning point in U.S.-Soviet relations. Reagan's efforts contributed to the eventual end of the Cold War, symbolized by the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989. Just months after he left office, Ronald Reagan was known for his wit and humor, often using jokes to defuse tension and connect with people. One famous example is when he quipped during a microphone test, "My fellow Americans, I am pleased to tell you I just signed legislation which outlaws Russia forever. The bombing begins in 5 minutes." Reagan's love for horseback riding and manual labor at his California ranch also became part of his public image. He often joked about the strenuous work, saying, "I've often said there's nothing better for the inside of a man than the outside of a horse." Reagan left office in 1989 with a high approval rating, having restored a sense of optimism and confidence in America. His farewell address highlighted his achievements and the vision he had for the country's future. After leaving the White House, Reagan remained active in public life until announcing in 1994 that he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. He spent his remaining years in seclusion, passing away on June 5, 2004. Ronald Reagan's impact on American politics and global affairs is still felt today. His legacy as the great communicator and his ability to blend Hollywood charm with political acumen made him a unique and influential figure in history. From Hollywood to the White House, Ronald Reagan's journey was anything but ordinary. His charisma, humor, and leadership left an indelible mark on the nation and the world. Whether you admire his policies or his personality, there's no denying that Ronald Reagan was a president like no other. Ronald Reagan. I've spoken of the shining city all my political life, but I don't know if I ever quite communicated what I saw when I said it. But in my mind, it was a tall, proud city built on rocks stronger than oceans, windswept, God-blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds living in harmony and peace.